This is exactly how I went from stacking wedding plates and wedding chairs, working at a hotel, making £11 an hour, making over 5 figures in a single month in the shortest time frame possible. Because I was that guy. 2 years ago, I was working at a hotel part-time, didn't really enjoy what I was doing. Right, and I wanted to make a change. I wanted to do something different. I knew that there was another way to make money. There was another route out there. I just didn't know how to get there. So in this video today, I'm going to break down to you the exact steps that I took to go from £11 an hour to making consistent 10, 15K months within less than 2 years. I want to run you through that exact process today. So let's dive right into it. So first things first, this is it, right? This is my journey. I went from £11 an hour to 5K weeks within less than 18 months. I managed to make that happen. Here's some photos again to show you proof. You know, this isn't some guru bullshit. This is me, right? That's me painting at the hotel. That's me painting at the hotel again. And that's me doing some garden work outside, right? I also worked front of house. I served beers all day. I served breakfast, right? That was me not that long ago. And now I'm in a position where I can travel where I want with my boys. This is me in Croatia. This is me in Bali. This is me in Bali. This is me in Thailand, right? And I've gone to these places over the past 3 months, right? I've brought in this kind of money, right? That's been paid into my account in a single day. I've closed sales deals where I've done $4,000 in sales, 8,862, 5,000, 9,000, right? These are all deals that I've closed, as you can see through my name there, right? So again, I'm no bullshitter. I'm not here to sell you some sort of pyramid scheme dream, right? I'm here to show you the real, authentic truth of really what it takes to hit 10K per month as quick as possible. Right, so where does it all start? The first thing that needs to change is your mindset, right? And I know this is like, wow, this is, woo-woo bullshit, right? Mindset, shut the fuck up, Ben. What are you on about? But it is so true. You have to believe it's possible. And for the longest time, I didn't, right? I would tell myself, I can't make that kind of money. I can't make 10K per month. It's just not possible. It's not possible to make that happen. And if you don't think it's possible, then it's never going to happen. Enough said. So if you can't get over the hurdle in your mind that you can do it, right, then you're not going to make the money. So first thing, you need to fix that mindset. And I'm going to show you exactly how you can do that today. Right, so to give you an idea, again, I used to wake up 6 a.m. I travel 30 minutes into work, right, in the pouring rain in the UK. I would stack plates. I'd serve breakfast to guests. I'd sit around thinking of different ways that I could get out of this reality, right, and I was going to do something different, right. I knew I wanted something, but I just didn't know how, right. So I'd work 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. I'd then smash the gym. And then after that, I would just be doing work, right? For the rest of the day, I'd spend figuring shit out, trying to figure out how the hell am I going to make money online so that I can travel, so I can do all the things that I want to do, so I can leave this job and make a lot more money. And look, I'll be honest, it's tough. It is very, very hard. There's nothing harder than going for something that you don't know is possible, right? It's not guaranteed. You don't know whether it's going to happen. And that's really tricky, right? It's very, very hard to have the motivation to go for it when you don't know it's going to happen. Right, so this is what I did. Right, I tried pretty much everything you can think of. Right, first I tried drop shipping, crypto. I even launched my own Amazon product selling jaw exercises. Right, as you can see here, this is them. This is them being manufactured in China. Right, all of these products here. That was like a beta model that I had. It's quite funny looking back. It's fond memories, even though none of it worked. This was a hydrogen water bottle that I sold online. I drop shipped this product. Didn't sell any products apart from one that my mate's dad bought. And this was an NFT that I bought when I was probably 17, which I bought for like $600. And it was a lot of money for me at the time. And I think it's now worth about 5p or something crazy like that. So again, I've lost a lot of money doing this shit. But again, that's part of it. Part and parcel is going through those experiences. But I then decided I wanted to lock in on one skill. Right, and that skill was sales, right? Instead of trying to build my own business with zero experience like I had done before with this product and this product, I thought, right, I can piggyback off other people's success within their business, and I can just make commission off the money that's coming into their business through sales, right? These big influencers, right, they don't have time to make sales calls themselves, so they outsource it to sales reps like me, and then I get a commission. Right, and I instantly knew this was for me, right? And why did I know that? Because look, I've always been a talker. I've always been a social guy. I played sport all my life. So this made sense to me, right? This business model aligned with who I was. So I saw the potential. And look, 9 months later, I'd made over 10,000 USD in a single month. Within 9 months, I managed to make that happen. right? And this is exactly how I did it. So I invested the last bit of money that I had into a mentor, right? And it really was the last bit of money I had. I couldn't even afford the payment all up front. I was hustling, right? I was trying to make ends meet. I wasn't drinking, right? You're gonna have to cut shit back. I wasn't going out. I was dialed the fuck in, right? In the first couple months, I didn't make anything, right? I barely made anything at all. I made a little bit of money, but things were not going the way that I wanted to. But as time went on, things seriously started to swing in my favor, right? And as I said, 9 months later, 10K USD in a single month. I traveled to multiple countries and I lived with some absolute killers. So let's go through that. So this is the source of the video. This is really the step-by-step process that took me from where I was to that point where I could travel wherever I want, right? See whoever I want, go places with whoever I want to, and I wasn't tied down to a boss, a location, or anything. So the source, right? And this, I want to reiterate, this requires zero skill, 0 degrees, 0 A levels, zero nothing. You don't need anything, but what you do need is you need a drive and you need obsession to succeed, right? You need these two things. If you don't, and you don't have that burning desire to want to make a change, then you're not going to do well, because the first roadblock's going to hit and you're going to quit straight away, right? So let's go through it. So there's 4 steps. There's 4 pillars I want to go through today. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. Number 1, mindset. Number 2, skill. Number 3, offer. Number 4, scale. And this is genuinely the step-by-step process that I went through to make this money. So you could literally copy what I'm about to tell you, right? And you can make a lot of money from it. I'm deadly serious with this. So look, phase 1 is mindset. So you have to become the guy, right? Get fucking angry with your situation, right? Look at me. This was me 2 years ago, right? I look like an absolute melt. Look at me. Like, if I zoom in on this is me working in the garden at the hotel doing painting, right? I was not content. I was thinking in my head, right, fuck this, fuck my job, fuck where I'm at in life. Something needs to change. I need to do something about this, right? You have to get pissed off with where you're at, right? Whatever you can do to motivate and drive yourself, get angry, right? I just broken up with my girlfriend at the time. That got me angry. That made me want to succeed even more, right? So you need to get pissed off with your situation, because that's then going to make you and force you to then put in the work to want to make a change, right? You then need to become the guy. And look, I'm not saying I'm the guy, but like, be the person, put yourself in the best position to succeed, right? Less drinking, start training more. How you do one thing is how you do everything, right? And this is so true, right? You need to be the person, right? And look, you're going to have to cut back. You're not going to be able to go out on weekends as much. The first few months, it's going to be locked in. It's going to be training. It's going to be putting your head down and making it happen. Does that mean you're just going to be the guy who's locked in forever? No. You can, once you're up and running and you're making money, look, go enjoy yourself, go travel. But that can't happen unless you lock in for the first few months. So make sure you do that, right? Cut back on all the things that aren't, pushing you to where you want to go. Cut back on all the things that aren't making you become the guy who can make 10K per month, right? And another thing you need to do before you start doing anything is before you start making any serious money, you need to know exactly what you want, right? And this was what I wanted. I wanted to travel. I wanted to take my mum on a trip away. I wanted freedom to go where I want, whenever I want, right? So figure out why. Why do you want 10K per month? Because 10K per month means fuck all, right? It means different to everyone. Everyone wants different things. Personally, I don't give a single fuck about cars, right? I don't care about nice cars. It's not who I am. I don't give a shit about them, right? So if someone said to me, right, Ben, you're putting the work, you're going to be able to drive a Ferrari, that wouldn't motivate me to work. I don't give a shit about that, right? But maybe it is cars for you. Maybe you want to drive a Lamborghini. Maybe you want to rent a Ferrari in Marbella, and that's going to be the thing that drives you. Great. Find the thing that's going to drive you, that's going to get you up every day, right? And for me, it was that ability to go wherever, whenever, with whoever. That was the thing that I wanted the most. And look, it came true. I had a mood board, right? And, people take the piss, but it's true. Get a mood board, get some photos, write the things you want, and it will come true. And it did for me. This is a photo of me and my mum in Oslo in Norway. I took her out for a nice meal. I paid for the whole, we were away for a whole week. I paid for everything, right? I made it happen. I said I was going to make it happen, and I made it happen. This is me in Croatia with all my boys, right? This was probably about a month ago we went. This is me in Montenegro. This is me in Bali going on a run. This is me in Thailand, right? All of these places, that's my brother, right? All of these places I managed to go to, right? Because I knew what I wanted. And if you don't know what you want, you're already hindering your progress. You won't do well if you don't know what you want. What's the point? If you're just going for money, then you're not going to put in the work required to get there. So make sure you have a set in stone goals, right? Set things that you want, things you want to achieve. Because if you don't have that, then you're aiming towards nothing, right? And if you have nothing to aim towards, if you're shooting in the dark, then you're not going to do well, right? So again, know what you want, and then it's now time to craft a clear plan, a clear game plan on exactly how we're going to get you there, how we're going to achieve it, right? So in your head, you should be thinking, what are the daily inputs that I need to put in to make this a reality, right? At the end of the day, guys, nothing is guaranteed. You could follow the steps that I tell you, right? And it might not work for you, but all you can do is put yourself in the best position to win. You have to put yourself in the best position to win, because nothing's guaranteed. I could go for my morning coffee after I've recorded this video and I could get hit by a bus and I could die. That is a possibility, because nothing's guaranteed. And realize this, nothing's guaranteed. But what you can do is do the daily inputs that are needed to put yourself in the best position to make that 10K per month, to drive that car, to take your mum away on holiday, whatever it is for you, right? As long as you put those daily inputs in, you will inch the needle forward every day. And that will then ensure that you're putting yourself in the best possible position to achieve your goals, right? So important you do that. Right, phase 2 now. Less of the kind of wishy-washy stuff. Skill, right? As I said, the skill is sales. Sales is a skill that can make you a shit ton of money. It's made me a shit ton of money. It's made guys I know a shit ton of money, right? This is the skill. So now we need to learn the skill. How do we actually sell, right? And this is how you do it. So first, there's closing and setting, right? Ideally, you want to become a closer right away, but you can always start as a setter, then transition into being a closer. Now, for those of you who don't know what the difference is, a setter is someone who sets the appointment for the closer within the business. So, they will speak with the potential prospect. They will, financially qualify them, make sure they're good, and then they will then book them in for an appointment with the closer. Now, setters typically get about 5% commission, right? And closers get 10%. So ideally you want to be closing, but setting's a really, really good way to start. I've had guys make a shit ton of money with both. Rory, in his first full month closing, made 5.2K with me, right? Not with me, working for another business, but with my coaching. And Giacomo, he's a setter, but he's still done really well. This was literally last week. He made 1.4K in 3 days. So still very, very lucrative. Insert pic. That was just a reminder for myself. But yeah, you can see the pics here. So yeah, pick closer or setter, one or the other. You can do well with both. But what I would recommend is you learn how to close, right? And how do you actually do this? Because look, if you're a good closer, then you'll be a good setter. So learn the foundations of closing to begin with, right? How to structure a sales call, how to actually sell to people. I recommend following and studying a script to begin with. And if you want my script, right, I'm more than happy to give it away for free. If you want my sales script and my sales framework that helped me close north of $1.7 million over the past couple of years, then just comment the word script or DM me on Instagram. Happy to send it over. But yeah, if you want to learn sales scripts, frameworks, there's loads of free shit online, right? I can send you what I have for free. I'm more than happy to do that, as I said, but there's loads of free stuff, right? Search people up. There's guys like Jeremy Miner, Bill Walsh, people like that. Just search sales framework for closing and start watching the videos, right? I'll leave a few videos in the description of the video as well, so you can give those a watch, but begin to learn, begin to understand, right? That's really, really important. Now it's time to study. Right? Study the fuck out of it, right? Understand what you want out of a prospect. Why are you asking these specific questions on a sales call? You don't just want to be reading a script. You need to understand the framework. You need to understand, this is why I'm asking this question. Oh, I'm asking this question because I want to find out this. I want to find out that, right? You need to know the specifics, because otherwise it's pointless. If you're just reading off a script, then you're like every other sales rep. Mint, well done, mate. You can read a script. Brilliant. You can fucking go to drama school, mate. Right? There's no difference. You need to understand why you're asking the questions, right? So how do you actually study? You study with other people. You study by doing role plays, right? Role play with other people, mock calls, pretending you're on a sales call with someone. The way you can do this, you can join Facebook groups, school communities, right? There's loads. Again, I'll leave links in the description, right? You can then book in slots with other people similar to you who are starting out, and then you can do mock calls with them. And again, you begin to improve. I recommend you do 2 to 3 of these a day. I was absolutely caning the shit out of these when I first started, right? Here's a photo of me in September 2023 with a bunch of guys that were in the same sales training program as me, and we would do this every day. We would practice mock calls every single day. Here's a photo of me with a couple of my students as well, doing some mock calls too. So you want to smash as many of these out a day. Begin to understand the sales process, the sales frameworks, understand what you actually want to get out of a prospect on a sales call. And when you do that, your skill set will begin to develop. And then from there, we can then look to land you a job, which is phase 3, right? Offer. And when I say offer, I basically mean a sales job, right? How are we actually going to get you on a job? Because look, at the end of the day, you can have a really good skill set. You can do all the practice that you want, right? But if you're not able to showcase your skill, then what's the point, right? You need to actually be able to make money from your skill. Otherwise, it's completely pointless, right? So now it's time to find a business to sell for, right? Find a business that needs you to sell their services so you can start making some commission, start making some money, right? I'm not very good at drawing these lines, am I? I keep fucking scribbling out all the words, right? And the key thing with this, guys, is volume negates luck, right? This isn't easy. I'm not saying it's easy. It takes time. But the more volume you can put in, the better, right? Inching the bitch forward every single day. There's a well-known sales guy in the space called Bill Walsh, right? He's got really good content and he talks about it all the time. Inch the bitch forward every day, just a little bit more volume every single day. And I promise you, you'll get to where you want to go, right? And these are the methods on how you can actually land a sales job, right? People fucking charge a lot of money for this information. I'm giving it to you for free, right? Facebook groups. Firstly, join as many Facebook groups as possible, right? There are a lot of shit Facebook groups out there, but there's some that are very, very good, right? My student Rory, who I showed you earlier, that offer where he made 5.2K in a single month, he found that job through a Facebook group, right? There seems to be a sales hub on Facebook that has been ever since I got into the space, right? So join these high ticket sales programs, these high ticket sales, these high ticket sales groups on Facebook, right? I'm going to give a list of 50 groups in the bio of this video. So again, you can go in and just join them and just go in, start speaking with people, start applying to jobs, right? And do everything you can. Along with that, you want to do Loom video outreach, right? And what actually is a Loom video? A Loom video is you basically just recording yourself. And what you want to do in these videos is you want to find a business firstly, or a business owner, right? Find people who run businesses online and need sales reps. Then basically what you want to do is you want to outreach to these people and you want to pitch yourself, right, as a sales rep for their team. And you want to make it as personalized as possible. This is the key. Make it super, super personalized, right? And again, if you want a breakdown of exactly how you can make these Loom videos, make them super personalized, this is the method that allowed me to make my first £5,000 in a single month through high ticket sales. I sent a Loom video to an Australian business owner. He messaged me saying he really liked my video. We jumped on an interview, right? He hired me. I then made £5,000 in a single month, literally 3 months after that hire, right? And then I traveled. I went to Barcelona straight after that, right? So if you want me to show you and break down exactly how you can record these videos, just DM me on Instagram. I'll leave my tag in the description of the video completely for free. I'm more than happy to send it over. But the whole point with these videos is you need to make them as personalized as possible, because if they're not personalized, people won't care. Think of it like yourself. You know, if you're a business owner, I'm a business owner now, right? And I have people flooding my DMs all the time. If someone just sends me a very generic message and says, hey, Ben, you know, I want to help you grow your business. I'm going to help you get more leads. Or, hey, Ben, you know, you're looking for any setters? I'd love to be a setter on your team. If you just send me a bog standard message, I'm deleting that message and I'm not replying to you. If you send me a video personalized talking about me, what I've done, my client results, how you can actually help my business, I'm way more likely to reply to you, right? So just think of it. If you were the business owner, would you reply to that message? That's what you need to say to yourself before you send any of these Loom videos out. But yeah, the key thing with these, I know I say volume negates luck, but with Loom video outreach, you want to do less, higher quality with less volume, 100%. Right, next is job posts. Firstly, there's a shit ton of people on Instagram who post job opportunities on their stories, right? You've got sales managers, growth operators, all of these people, they're always hiring, right? So follow accounts, keep up to date with these accounts, right, on IG, which are always posting job posts, right? And start following them. And then naturally your feed will be job posts all the time and you can start applying. You can do other things like go on websites like Indeed, Seek, Upwork, all of these places. Search high ticket sales, right? High ticket closer. A lot of opportunities will come up and start applying. Just mass apply to all of them. So it's high ticket closer, appointment setter in the keywords, right? And apply to all of these opportunities. It may seem simple, right? It may seem like a kind of 9-to-5ers kind of mindset of like going on Indeed, right? It's a pretty like well-known website, but a lot of these businesses, they don't know about like Facebook groups, or they don't know about like Loom video outreach, right? They don't have big Instagram following. So the way that they hire is through the traditional methods like Indeed, right? So it's definitely worth doing these. And finally is recruiters, right? And what is a recruiter in the high ticket sales space? Very similar to a recruiter in kind of the normal world, right? These are guys that get paid to connect great sales talent with offers that need them, right? So how do you do this? You can apply as a setter or a closer to these recruiter pipelines, right? Talk about yourself, say why you should be hired for certain, businesses and job opportunities, right? And there's so many of these recruiter pipelines. I've got a list. Again, I'll leave it in the description of this video. There's probably about 20 recruiter pipelines that I'm going to leave in the bio of this, in the description of this video, right? And you can just go in and just mass apply to all of them, right? And then recruiters will come to you and they will say, oh, you want to be a setter? Okay, we've got this business here. They're looking for a setter. We feel like you'd be a good fit. Boom, connect you. You then land a job. You can then make 2, 3, 4, 5, 6K a month being a setter, right? It's really not rocket science, guys, right? These people, these recruiters literally get paid to place you, right? I can't recommend it enough. Just apply to as many of these recruiter pipelines as possible, right? And finally is phase 4, right? And that is scale. So at this point, right, you're on an offer and you're making pretty good money. It's now time to leverage your experience to try and land an even better offer that can make you even more money, right? I went from £5,000 a month to 10K per month by landing a second offer to supplement the current offer I was working on, right? So you always need to be looking for the best opportunity to make the most cash, right? Be selfish. Right, these business owners, there's high churn rate in this industry. Be selfish, right? If you're on one offer that's making you 5K a month and you get the opportunity to be on another offer that can bump you up to 10K per month, double your income, you're going to do it, right? And that's exactly what I did, and I would recommend you do it too. So you always need to be continuing to grow your pipeline of opportunities so that you can see, okay, this is going to be the best opportunity, or this is going to be the best opportunity. You always want to be selling on the offer where you can make the most money, right? So leverage the hell out of your experience. Update your stats as you go with recruiter pipelines. To begin with, when you first start, right, your stats aren't going to be amazing because, you're a beginner. But as you grow, as you close more, update your stats, right? The best ops are beginning to be presented to you at this point because you're good talent, right? Think about it in terms of football. If you're a really, really good footballer, right, the scouts are going to find you, mate. They're going to come see you play Sunday League, and they're going to come up to you after the game and they're going to say, mate, you're fucking good. Right, I want to put you on a trial for a Prem club. I want to get you into an academy. It's same with sales. If people see what you're about, they see the numbers you're doing, right, you're then going to get more opportunities come. And as I said, these recruiters, they get paid to place good talent, right? So they want people like you to apply for their pipelines, right? So continue to update your numbers in those pipelines. From there, we want to network, right? Network with other sales reps in the industry so that if opportunities come your way or their way, you're growing that pipeline, right? If your network know you're looking for a new sales gig, it's just an increased chance of finding it. I have a massive network in the sales space now. People coming to me all the time, offering me job opportunities, offering me job opportunities for my students as well, right? So build that pipeline of people, network with as many people as you can. If you want to know how to network, you can do it through Facebook groups, provide value. But again, that's a whole nother kettle of fish. So I'll save that for another video. But look, that's pretty much everything. But finally is no action, no reward. Look, I've just given you 25 minutes pretty much of a step-by-step source of how you can literally go from nothing, go from £11 an hour to 5K plus weeks. I have given you my exact roadmap. This is exactly what I did, right? But at the end of the day, if I come back down here, there's no action. If you don't put any action, there's going to be no reward, right? Please, for the love of God, do something, right? I speak with too many people who always find an excuse not to do this, right? Not to do sales, not to start a business, right? There will always be a reason why you shouldn't. There will always be an excuse. There will always be a different option. There will always be a better time. Every single time. It's easy to find a way out, right? If I hadn't taken action 2 years ago, right, even though I was shit scared, even though there was probably a better time, even though I had fuck all money in my bank account, I had to split the payment up with the mentor I was working with, and there was no guarantee that I was going to make the money, right? I would not be where I am now if I didn't do any of those things. So please, I'm telling you, take action. I don't care if it's with me. I don't care if it's with another mentor. I don't care if it's with high ticket sales, whether it's you wanting to become a professional sportsman, whether it's you wanting to make money for a different business model. It doesn't matter to me. All I care about is that you actually take action, because you've wasted 26 minutes of your life watching this video, or however long, 26 minutes, if you don't go away from this video and take action. Right? Because it's pointless otherwise. It's completely pointless. So look, if you are serious about this transition, right, and you want mentorship, you want genuine help from a genuine guy who will give you a direct way to speed this whole process up that I've just shown you, right, then feel free to book in a call below. We can have a chat, see if I can help you, and we can go from there. But look, I hope that was super valuable. I put a lot of time into this video, and I feel like you will get a lot from it. So feel free to watch it back, study it. If you have any questions about any of it, let me know. As I said, I'm going to leave as much value in the description of the video for recruiter pipelines, for Facebook groups, so you can literally go away, take everything I've shown you for free, and get yourself on an opportunity where you can make upwards of 10K per month. Because look, guys, it's definitely possible. It's an insane industry that is growing massively. It's growing by the day, right? There's more and more online education companies starting as we go. Universities going down the toilet, right? This is the future, right? So leverage off these businesses so you can make this kind of money. Because trust me, right, when you do these things, when you get to a point where you can take your mum on holidays, travel where you want, be with your mates, right? It's an insane feeling. It's a feeling like no other, I'm telling you, right? But the only way you're going to get there is by taking imperfect action, right? Is by taking action when nothing's guaranteed and just giving it absolutely everything that you've got. Because at the end of the day, nothing comes easy, right? And there's going to be ups and downs, but if you keep pushing, you will get there. So look, hopefully that was valuable. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.